Hi, I'm Molly Tipton and I'm an 8th grade teacher at Nolan Richardson Middle School. I am a native El Pasoan. I grew up in Northeast El Paso and attended Andrews High School. I'm a product of the Alternative Certification Program at the University of Texas El Paso, and I am currently teaching my class as a hybrid class, both online and in the classroom, using technology called Moodle. I hope you enjoyed this presentation where I walk you through some of the features of Moodle and show you that it doesn't take a technology genius to be able to use this program. Moodle is an easy program, I think, for teachers to use. The only thing that you need to be able to recognize is that it's in an online format. If anybody's ever taken a class online through any of the colleges in El Paso, you've probably used WebCT or Blackboard. Moodle is something very similar to that. It's basically a great depository for your classroom materials. You can also use it all the way up to the point of taking your class completely online, allowing your students to upload their materials, have access to notes, and even take tests, which definitely reduces grading time. I use Moodle in a variety of different ways for my lessons, depending on what we're doing in class that day. Sometimes I use it just as a depository for notes so that the kids have access over the weekend or in the evenings. Sometimes I have them actually use the online Moodle classroom to visit websites or to have access to links or PowerPoint presentations that I've shown them in class or that I want them to preview before they come to class. Moodle is definitely not difficult to use. I received access to my Moodle online class about 2 weeks before this year started, and it took me just one evening of sitting down at my laptop and kind of just checking it out. I kind of perused all the different links that the Moodle site had. I played, I practiced, but within a day I pretty much understood everything that there was for me to be able to do and all the great cool features that Moodle had for a teacher. I think the feature that I like best on Moodle is, well, there's really two of them. The first is the ability for my students to take online tests and quizzes because it gives them instant feedback. They are immediately told what questions they got wrong. You're also allowed to give them multiple chances. It's a great tool for guiding your students through comprehension. If they get a question wrong, you can give them a hint on where to look, maybe allow them to have their book open and say, look at this certain page or this certain paragraph, and then have them answer the question again. The other feature that I really like is the ability to link online tools or online information. I use a lot of resources from National Geographic or PBS Kids that have great information for social studies content, and so I'm able to link the website directly to our Moodle classroom so that the students have access to that information before they come to class or while we're in class. My students love our online class. I have had some students who perhaps aren't super familiar with the internet. Of course, you don't run into many of those. Most everybody understands the internet. They love all the different features. I think one of the things that they like the best is I have chosen to allow my students to use the chat room feature. They're told that the same rules apply as would apply in class. And they use it to just kind of, chat about the day, talk to their friends, all within the confines of our classroom. It keeps them in a safe atmosphere. It takes them away from being on places like MySpace, and it keeps them in my classroom where they have constant access to classroom content. Moodle definitely has great benefits for parents. One of the things that my parents like the most is that they're able to log in as a guest or using their student's access code and see the grades that their students have earned for any work that's been submitted online. So if my students have taken an online test, not only do they have instant access to their results, but their parents can go online at any time and verify their grades. And although some of our grades are online and some of our grades are offline, they're able to get a good understanding of how their students are doing at any given time in the classroom. They also love it because they have access to all of the assignments that our students have at any given time. I usually schedule our calendar several months in advance. I do our units several weeks in advance. So parents have a really good understanding of what their students are doing on a day-to-day basis in my class and whether they have any large assignments due and what time period they're due in. I think the best advice that I can give teachers who are wanting to incorporate something like Moodle into their classroom is just to take the content that they already have for their class and review it and see what strengths they have. Once they have access to Moodle, they can look around and see if there's any way that they can incorporate their existing lessons into Moodle lessons. Sometimes that just means simply doing a web search and seeing if you can find a related source, maybe a primary or a secondary source, a website that has the kids walk through a day in the life of somebody. Once they do that, then they can really start to play around, start to create lessons that incorporate the use of the Moodle classroom, and really just take it from there. It's kind of a snowball effect. Once you get started, you can't stop.